Is it working?
It should be working now. All right, we're officially live. So this is our first ever live stream for Drivers Only. This is kind of new for us. So hopefully this is something that we're going to be doing on a regular basis for you guys. If it works out well, if it doesn't work out well, then we may drop it because we don't. Ultimately, the podcast is more important than the live stream as of right now. So for us, if the podcast loses any quality, then we will be dropping the live stream and we will continue doing the podcast as is. But if the podcast doesn't drop quality, then we'll probably remain doing the live stream because it's not that much more effort for us. We just got to hit go on YouTube. Yeah. This is going to be completely unedited, the live stream. So if there's a mic spike or something like that, too bad. Sorry. I'm not doing video editing. Just not until I'm making money off this live stream or this podcast. I'm not doing any video editing.
I don't blame you.
So we're going to start the actual audio version of it now. So I'm going to turn away from the camera and here we go. Alrighty, welcome to the Drivers Only podcast. I am Joe.
I'm David.
And this is episode 127. How you feeling, David?
A little weird, actually.
Why? Because you're looking me in the face?
Yeah, I've never looked at you in the face on the podcast before.
So, for those audio listeners, we are officially doing our first live stream. So next week, if you're listening now and you didn't hear this, you can go back and rewatch it, which would be great for us because that'll help the views. Or you can watch next week, either one or both. You can do both. But this is not our normal setup. This room has been completely changed to try and make this work.
Yes.
So, hello. That's the most awkward wave on the face. But anyway, the only difficulty is when I have to look at anybody that might be typing in the chat.
I'll let you know if anything's happening.
Okay, that's a good thing. The other thing is I could always move the monitor over here somewhere if I need to.
That's true.
But David, how are you?
I'm good. Life's good.
That's it? That's all you're rolling with?
Yeah.
Plans for the S2000 because they change every week. You know I'm going to ask you. You should.
No. The plans are solid. What's not solid is what I'm going to do first. I've already decided it's going to get suspension, wheels, tires, exhaust, and steering wheel, and eventually pole positions.
What color pole positions?
Well, I'd love to get red, but the car's yellow.
Yeah. So do blue.
Yeah, I was thinking about blue. I got a
blue or black.
I don't know if they still sell them in blue. I know they used to. So, yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Yesterday, I was for sure going to get suspension first. Today, kind of back on the track thinking I'm going to do exhaust first. But I don't know. I know I should do suspension, so I'll probably end up doing that.
When I drove it, though, I didn't feel like it needed suspension.
No, but I really want...
So we talked about that. We were
going to keep count.
We were going to hit our knees on this desk because there's no way for us to fit underneath the desk. So
yeah,
we knew that was going to happen. I'm the first one to do it.
But yeah, no, the suspension's all right. It's just I want to be able to fit meaty wheels and tires, and to do that, I'm going to need the coilovers. Otherwise, it's going to look stupid. And I could do the wheels and tires first, I guess, and then get coilovers. I want to do them at the same time, but that's a big chunk of change. So yeah, I'll probably do coilovers first.
And are you set on your wheels yet, or are you still trying to decide on wheels?
I don't know. I'm confused. I want 17x9s, but I don't want to modify the fenders at all, which I can do. I just got to run some camber, and I don't think it'd be too bad. But the fronts are going to be tricky fitting the 17x9s.
You don't want to roll them at all? Like even if you got somebody that knew what they were doing to do it?
I would roll them, but that's as far as I'm going to go. Like a lot of people say, oh, you got to pull the fender. And when I hear someone say you have to pull the fender, I just imagine of horrific things that I've seen on the internet.
You can almost hear the car screaming, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, we got somebody? Is that Lee?
Oh. Well, it's Drake under Becky's name. So,
Hi, Drake.
So Becky is saying coil overs first. Mad camber.
Okay.
Which this will transition us nicely into what's happening this weekend.
Yeah.
I am headed up to Lakeland this weekend, which is where Drake lives. And I'm going to be putting coilovers on my car. I am mildly concerned with the way that he's going to set the car because I have a feeling we're going to do this twice because he's going to set it and not say anything. And I don't know any better because I haven't dealt with coilovers enough.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to go, no, Joe, we're going to set it like this. This will be fine. We'll put the camber here. You're probably going to need that to clear. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to just have like 1,000 degrees of negative camber out of nowhere because it's Drake.
Nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
You'll just have
You guys have already talked about
a
that.
racing setup. That's what it'll be. A nice racing setup.
Yeah. You mean essentially a drifting setup where you
That
got
would be
negative
funny.
5.
That would be funny, but no.
No, I'm excited for it. It'll look so much better.
Yeah, I'm curious how much camber you're really going to need though, because if you take the spacers off the rear, you're not going to have any issues with the rear.
Yeah, I should be able to move the. I can take the spacers. Those are like only 5 millimeters or 10 millimeters, so I should be able to take those off and get rid of those.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now the reason they're on is to clear. Oh no, they're clearing the lugs on the one side or on.
What?
I'll have to get shorter lugs.
Shorter lugs.
Yeah, because they're lug bolts. So if the spacer's not in there, it makes.
So you
noises.
have to get lugs that are perfectly sized depending on how big the hub is or how deep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because Porsche.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's very irritating. Because I tried to take the spacer off. Because when I changed the rotors, I was like, I don't need this spacer. And then I started to drive away, and all of a sudden the car just, like, I went to pull away and it went, and then stalled. I was like, what just happened? And then I tried to do it again. I'm like, I know exactly what this problem is. The lugs are getting caught. And,
Oh.
yeah. That's so.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. The good news is it was so restrictive that I couldn't drive away and then be like, what is that knocking? You know, like.
That would have been bad, yeah.
That would have been way worse.
Yeah.
So I have some shorter lugs. I'll bring them up with me, and then I'll see if those fit on there. If they don't, then we'll just go with it, and the rear will be a little bit wider. I don't mind poke. I like poke. I just want to make sure it gets low enough where it doesn't look weird in the back and not weird in the front.
I think once you lower it, they'll camber in a little bit, and I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, see, Drake makes a good suggestion. I should do a stud conversion. I agree with that. I will do it eventually.
What do you mean? Should change the bolt pattern?
No, you remove. Oh, you
don't
remove
to
anything.
Literally just change it to studs.
Yeah, you Loctite studs in there, essentially, and that's what I did on my BMW, and it's a good idea. It's a really good.
But why
idea.
do they use lugs in the first place?
The lug bolts?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It seems like it's more like I can't imagine like if you're trying to do a quick tire change.
Yeah, you'll see some people that'll buy like 4, and this is not the way to. Don't do this. Don't do this. So people will buy like 1 stud, and they'll just put that in on every hub, so that way you can kind of lock. When you put the wheel on, you can put it on, and then you can tighten everything else, and it makes putting the wheel on easier. But it's like you've already gone through the hassle.
Yeah, just do the whole
4
thing.
more on every wheel. It's only 6. Like that's 16 more. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not that bad. It's not even that hard either. Like you need the smallest amount of Loctite because Loctite is made out of I don't know, and you just jam it in there and roll with it, and you're fine. It's easy.
But yeah, I think the car's going to look great, and I'm really excited to see it when it's lowered.
Yes. Unfortunately, you're not able to bring the S2000 up to the good roads.
Yeah, I am kind of depressed about that. It would be fun.
I think I'm gonna bring that GoPro thing here. I'll get it right here. This thing. It's not a GoPro, but it's
effectively.
It's a GoPro.
Yeah,
it's GoPro by Sony. So I'll probably bring that up if we go on the roads or something, and just stick it on the wherever.
Yeah.
Because if it falls off, I don't give a shit.
Is Drake's Porsche running?
I don't know. Drake, is your Porsche running? Becky said to tell Katie that her and Katie can dress up nice and go to dinner.
What?
I'm assuming that means if you come up. This
weekend. Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah, because we have our year-end party, or not party, like it's like a recognition fancy
at work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told Drake I don't think I'll be able to get out of it, and he's obviously trying to get me out of it. No.
Katie just tuned in. She says deal.
All right, I'll be there.
But supposedly the 911's not running, which I'm not shocked by. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I shouldn't be that mean to him though, because he's helping me put suspension on. Drake, I'm sorry.
Now that I think about it though, so if we go up there, the only fun thing Drake can drive is his GLI.
Yeah, yeah, because you can't bring both the Miata and the S2000.
I could have Katie drive the Miata.
You could. Can she drive it?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that.
Could do that.
Oh, you.
That'd
know
be
what you
fun,
should do?
actually.
Yeah, and then just tell, like, right at the last second, just go, Drake, I'm sorry, we can't make it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be mean again. I keep. Now I'm definitely going to have a lot more camber than I need. Only on one side, though.
Make his car turn left.
No.
Yeah,
No,
NASCAR setup.
No, let's not do that. It's not American enough. But anyway, so yeah, my car will be getting coilovers by Sunday. I will likely post pictures on the Instagram at some point.
I've seen them. They look nice.
I mean, yeah, they're
in
normal.
my expert opinion.
Yeah, they're just coilovers. Like if you just look at coilovers and there's no color scheme to it or there's no label, you would look at Bilsteins, Ohlins, any of those, or like Godspeed, or even what is Megan Racing's really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could line them all up, and if there's no colors, you just go, yeah, it looks the same.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much all it comes like as far as looks goes. Like once you pull it out of the box, you're like, that's coilover.
I am curious to see at what point, because I mean, all that matters really is the internal valving, and you have to assume. I mean, obviously, good shocks are good shocks, but at what point does it not matter? You know, like we're perfectly fine with. See, the thing about upgrading to coilovers is, I would say most of the time they're still better than stock.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's almost hard to tell when you've got a bad set, because you're always going to put them on and go, wow, this is great.
Right.
You know, unless you go from coilover to coilover.
Drake, correct us if we're wrong, but I would think that, if you are in a situation where you buy coilovers and then like 2 years later they're shot and you can tell, or how many ever 1,000 miles on it and they're shot, that's probably the most obvious issue. Like you're like, okay, now I bought cheap coilovers. But I would imagine, like, for the most part, they all, especially for the driving that we're going to be doing, because it's not going to be track use, not going to notice the difference.
Yeah.
Like the Bilsteins or Ohlins might ride a little bit better than the Godspeeds. But
well, the biggest difference I would assume is handling big bumps.
Yeah.
Like if you hit
how quickly it returns.
Yeah. Did you know actually the S2000 has a little remote reservoir on the rear shock?
No. Why would I know that?
I don't know. It's a saying. It's what people say.
That's like that is so far. That is so deep into S2000 research that, like, okay. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like a dick there, but
no, it's true. But no, it's got a little remote reservoir on the rear shock. It's kind of cool,
and it assists in it recentering the shock.
Well, I'd assume like really big compressions. I mean, that's typically what you want that for. But
so Drake says, oil in the shock makes a big difference, as well as balancing the valving in the shock and specific spring rate. So I hope our audio listeners heard that.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna ask Drake which coilovers I want to get. Because I'll say this.
He's just gonna tell you Ohlins.
I'm not paying $2,000.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to Drake, because see, this is something our government could learn from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not political. But when someone else is spending your money for you, they don't care about the cost. The quality might matter, but they don't care about the cost.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, Drake. I don't want to spend more than $1,300. Which coilover should I get? Because right now I'm looking at Fortunato 500 series.
Fortunatos are really good.
Well, I've heard when I was looking up parts for the FRS, I remember seeing that Fortunatos were like the best mid-range shock, especially if you get the Swift springs.
Okay.
But I don't.
You could probably get a decent set of KWs for that price.
I think I looked and they were like 16 or they're 15 or 1600,
really?
Which isn't too bad, but that's like the base KW.
Well, the other thing you could do too is like through eBay. Especially if you get them through eBay, which they're new from eBay. It's not like you're getting used ones, but you can do that like PayPal credit.
Yep.
So you pay a monthly fee on those, and as long as you pay them off within 6 months, there's no interest.
Yeah.
So you pay like $200 a month for your coilovers essentially after 6 months, and you just got a way better set with no interest, and they're still on your card now.
Yeah. Yeah. Although there are still other things I want to buy.
Like I said.
So I can buy those things too.
Yeah, it's credit. It's just how much do you want to pay per month?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess I could...
I'm sorry, Katie.
I don't know. I mean, there's not that many things I want to do, and honestly, if I just got them done, it would be pretty cool. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do wheels and tires at the same time.
Drake says Fortune Auto 500 is the best for the price.
Okay.
I kind of like having this like chat. I mean, even though it's Drake and we normally talk to Drake anyway,
Yeah.
I'd rather have him in studio, but it's still kind of nice to have somebody else to be like, I wonder, oh, okay. He also says, look into ST suspension,
Okay.
built by KW, but a little bit different.
Oh yeah, that's their their lower, like entry level brand, I guess
Yeah.
you'd say.
Well, that's kind of from what I was able to gather on research was Godspeed's kind of like the BC's entry level.
But are they the exact same shock? Like, what are they
everything's
changing?
Identical. I think it's
Why
just
would
a
they
label.
do that?
Well, isn't it Drake? What is the I don't know why I was looking back there. Drake, what is the company that I thought it was Tyne last week. We were trying to come up with this, but there's a company that does suspension that is the exact same as like everybody from that country. There's a whole bunch of suspension makers from that country, and it's like all the same, and it's all cheap shit. It's like Megan, not Tyne. It's not Tyne. Come on, Drake, come through in the clutch. But anyway, they essentially just rebrand it. From what I can gather, they might change a few things here and there. Like the knob might not say hard or soft; it might say 10 or 1, like your
like the Bilsteins.
That you
Yeah,
have no idea.
Stupid. It's a stupid system. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Next week, I'll probably say I bought an exhaust.
I don't think you need an exhaust because that intake sounds really good as is.
The only thing is, I want to buy the Spoon exhaust because I know they've discontinued parts before, and I'm not afraid that they're going to discontinue it like right now.
What does it cost?
The Spoon exhaust?
Yeah,
it's not bad actually. You think it'd be a lot, right? Because it's Spoon.
$1,100.
It's $1,000, but
That's
that also comes with a test pipe.
Cool. So you could just swap it out and put something louder on if you wanted.
Yeah, and it comes with a silencer too.
See, the thing is, it's a test pipe for most cars, right? But because you're in the JDM community now, well, you were with the Miata, it's blast pipe, bro.
Is that really what they call?
I don't know.
Oh,
it's a straight pipe, right? I mean, straight pipes are blast pipes, aren't they? Isn't that all the same?
I thought blast pipes were like just straight pipes, and then it has to be like two massive pipes at the end that like stick up.
Oh no, that's the Bosuzoku or whatever.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh man, if only Lee was here to correct us.
Yeah, I'm not that disappointed. Easy now.
I've got pneumonia. Yeah.
No, it's all good. So, we'll dive into some articles, some news. This is where I have to turn away from the live stream because I have to bring my mic with me because otherwise the audio listeners get screwed. So you'll see me disappear a little bit from the live stream, but we have. Let's go with David. Do you want to go with the Race of Champions or do you want to go with Ferrari's news?
Let's do Ferrari.
Okay, so I got Ferrari here. They have officially announced their new team principal. Mauricio Arrivabene is out. There's apparently a bunch of turmoil between him and Sergio Marchionne while Marchionne was alive. And then when he passed, Ferrari didn't want to make another giant move right away and eliminate Arrivabene at the time. So they pulled essentially his employment. They fired him. That's what I was trying to get at. I'm like, God, it is mildly distracting as people. What have you gone and done? I'm sorry,
Hello?
listeners.
Hello?
I don't know what just happened. Let me check and make sure.
I think that was
still
me.
Up.
That was a terrible noise.
Still awake. We are. I didn't spike that bad. I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I think it's that connection on the bottom of the mic.
It's this right here.
Okay. So anyway, Arrivabene's out. Mattia Binotto is in. Mattia Binotto was born on November 3rd. I don't care when he was born. This is a direct from Formula One given to them by Ferrari. In 1995, he joined Scuderia Ferrari test team as the test engine engineer and fulfilled the same role with the race team from 1997 to 2003. In 2004, he became the race engine engineer. Excuse me. That's very weird to read those two words in in order like that.
Yeah.
Race engine engineer. But anyway, from 2007, Bonota took on the role of the chief engineer, race and assembly, moving on in 2009 to head the engine and KERS operation. Having been appointed by Deputy Director, Engine and Electronics in October 2013, Bonota subsequently took on the role of Chief Operating Officer for the power unit. In July 27th, 2016, he had been appointed the Chief Technical Officer of Scuderia Ferrari, and in January 27th, 2019, he is now appointed as the team principal. So big change there for Ferrari. We'll see if that helps at all. The team principal is kind of essentially their head coach. So it's that's a big change.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised. I thought Riva Bene did a pretty good job.
Yeah, all considering, I didn't think that he was the issue.
I mean, they didn't win the championship, but I thought he did a pretty good job bringing the team back to sort of, where they were actually competing for wins.
He didn't win the championship not because of him though. He didn't win the championship because of Vettel. I mean, I would argue that Vettel was the reason they didn't win that.
Yeah. Well, their strategy wasn't great.
No, they had some mistakes on strategy certainly, but
yeah,
that's not entirely down to him too. There's race engineers and stuff like that handle that as well.
Well, he definitely had the car under him, but couldn't get it done.
I don't know if he did at the end of the year. I don't know.
I think he did.
I think at the beginning and probably the first 2/3 of the year, I think absolutely I agree with you. But it looked like Mercedes turned it on a lot.
Yeah, but 2/3 of the year, that's enough.
I agree. I understand.
Yeah. You look at that from Mercedes' point of view, they won the championship.
I don't have a problem with the move. I get the move. It makes sense. I think it's interesting. It's interesting how abruptly it occurred.
Yeah.
But the other news is the Race of Champions have announced a handful of drivers so far. The Race of Champions will be next week in Mexico. Next weekend, not this upcoming one, next weekend. David Coulthard for England or Great Britain rather, will be driving. Sebastian Vettel and Mick Schumacher for Germany. Daniel Suarez, Memo Rojas, Patricio Ward, and Benito Guerrera for Mexico. Tom Christensen for Denmark. Johan Kristoffersen for Sweden, Ryan Hunter-Ray, and Joseph Newgarden for the United States, Elio Castroneves, and Luca de Grassi for Brazil. I would say, given that lineup, United States and Brazil are looking pretty damn good. With Ryan Hunter-Ray, Joseph Newgarden, that's a great combination, and then Elio and Luca de Grassi are very good as well. What is that feedback?
I don't know.
Is that all right, listeners? I'm sorry. Is your mic there?
Yes.
All right, it's loose. It's
that was the
fixed.
problem.
Yeah, it's been fixed. So anyway, that's news on the Race of Champions. It is apparently they toned down the cars a little bit, so they're not going to kill each other.
Didn't they roll something over last year?
Yeah, Patrick Verline did, or was that the year before? About killed himself in one of these years.
Because they do that little circuit inside, don't they?
Yeah. It's actually I think there's a.
It's like a little rally cross course almost. It has it's like one of those courses that technically it's all the same track, but there's a crossover point, so they're racing side by side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually in the baseball stadium at the Mexican Grand Prix. It looks like. I don't know if that's actually the case or not.
It looks like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
It'll be something to tune into nonetheless.
Yeah. Did they actually stream it, or is it on TV?
I would think it is. I never thought about it. I never bothered tuning in.
I've never seen it
because I always forget about it. It's just like it happens. Everything happens so quick. It's like, for me, racing this year does not start until Daytona.
Yeah.
Like any race that occurs before then, I know that there was a Formula E race. I've been meaning to watch the Formula E stuff because supposedly we're going to have manufacturers now and stuff like that. But I forgot.
But they're not manufacturers.
No, they're not.
They are stickers on the car.
Yeah.
It's lame.
Yeah. But you can still root for Porsche.
Porsche's in it?
They were supposed to be, yeah.
I thought Audi was in it.
Yeah, they were supposed to be as well. And Jaguar and Mercedes and I don't know. I'll have to look into it again. But that was the last I had read. Shows you how excited I was to begin with.
I can't watch Formula E.
Okay. Anyway, so we dove into the Cayman. We dove into the S2000. There was a couple of comments. Drake said the BC, Megan, Godspeed are all the same. Katie says that her vote is exhaust.
Interesting.
Ask her if that's her vote when you wake her up in the morning. But yes, that's pretty much it. We do plan on doing some driving roads, I would imagine, with Drake while I'm up in Winter Haven, because that is pretty prime territory in Florida.
The best
I mean, there's
I've ever seen.
there's just nothing. There's
There's
no
like 3
driving.
corners in a row.
Yeah, which is incredible for Florida. Those of you that don't live in Florida, worst damn place for driving on the face of the earth. It's amazing.
It is sad. I almost the other day I was looking up roads. I was literally on Google Maps just looking at random states.
We've all done
and
it.
I'm just like, I wonder what kind of roads are in this state. I was looking at Colorado. Colorado's got some nice roads. The Carolinas are not that great, actually.
Well, what is isn't the Tail of Dragon in one of those?
Yeah.
Or is that in Virginia?
No,
Blue Ridge Parkway is in Virginia.
Yeah. But Tail of Dragon is pretty sure it's in one of the Carolinas. I don't remember which one. But the problem with that road is it's a huge,
Everybody
there's
knows
tons
it.
of people on it.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Top Gear.
I would not want to drive that road. Like on that road, all I would worry about is a motorcyclist crossing the double yellow or some crazy dude in a Mustang crashing into me around a blind corner.
Right.
The whole time.
You don't even want to drive it casually, do you?
No, I don't really want to be on it. There's too many people.
Yeah.
I'd rather drive the Nürburgring. At least everybody's going the same direction.
Also true, yes.
But yeah, I was looking at Colorado. What you need is a road that goes nowhere. Because I was looking,
goes in dead end somewhere.
Yeah, or just is like some kind of mountain pass. Because if there's houses on it, then it's not great. If there's any kind of anything connected to the road laterally, it's no good. You just need to go from point A to point B.
Right.
And basically it has to be somewhere in the mountains. And I was watching this video. I think I showed you the video. The guy driving the S2000 in California.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching that video and I was like, I want to do that. Yeah. Really bad.
It's funny that all of a sudden the S2000, you've had a Miata the whole time, but all of a sudden an S2000 makes you want to drive.
It does, because that's what it was built for. The Miata was built for people.
It was compromised in every single way.
It was I think it drives just as good as the S2000, depending on what you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But the S2000 is more focused. The Miata is like I don't know how to explain it. It's like an everyday tool, where the S2000 is more specialized. Like when I get in the S2000, there's no distractions. You have a tack, digital tack, and it dominates the entire dash, and everything else is extra. And all you get are in that little, everything behind the steering wheel there, and then everything else, there's nothing. You close the radio, you don't see it. There's no center stack. There's no air conditioning controls. That's all, by your fingertips.
It's just essentially behind the steering wheel where your hands are going to be.
Yeah. The whole thing is just, here's your tack, manual gearbox, no traction control, no nothing, just drive. And the Miata's more like casual,
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
And especially.
So here, is the Miata like playing Forza with a controller and then.
Yeah.
Versus Forza with a
wheel.
rig.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like the S2000 is an event where the Miata's like you could jump in anytime. It's approachable. It's easy. It's fun, but it's not as rewarding. And the S2000, it was built for one reason. It was a clean sheet driver's car. That's it. Built in a period when Honda was doing great things. I mean, Drake, you sure heard. I don't know if Drake told you about this. He's obviously looking at Integra Type Rs.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Oh, he's been looking for one for a while, and I think he's
been looking at them for a while, yes.
Well, Drake has an uncanny ability. If he looks at a car and goes, I kind of want one of those. The values, right? They're just normal. Then he goes, yeah, I kind of want one of those. And he goes, I'm going to start looking into buying one. And then goes, nah, I don't think I'd ever get, that's too much. I don't want to spend that. 2 years later, the prices skyrocket.
Drake.
Every time.
Drake, look at the Caymans. Go look at Caymans. Not the S, the base.
I've seen Integra Type Rs. I remember he sent me one a few years ago. He's like, oh, it's 10,000.
Yeah,
and it was a nice one.
They were always around 10 for a while.
He's like 10,000.
What are they now?
He found one. This guy put it up for sale. It was a yellow one. It was like relatively low miles, like 70,000, I think. And the guy put it up, I think it was like for 15, or maybe that was Drake's max was 15. And the guy said he was getting offers of 30 grand.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it was clean, but
Wow.
because remember when he's like, "Oh, I could have bought an E30 for like
Yeah.
15 grand or something." I was like, "Oh, I'll never get any money out of it." Now E30 M3s are like 50 grand.
Well, and he had an FD.
Yep. So whatever Drake looks at next, I'm gonna buy one immediately because it's guaranteed to increase in value in 2 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Start
It's an
looking at
interesting- it's an
S2000.
interesting theory. Yeah, and Caymans. Look at either of those. I don't know if he's responded on here. 54,000.
For what?
It just says 54K. I think he's probably referring to what that sold for. We're waiting it into 54,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's a clean 54,000 miles. I mean, that's not too bad, really. That's
Yeah, but should have bought that one 2 years ago.
shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I remember correctly, that one was white because he had sent it to me as well.
Yep.
Because I remember, I want to say we stumbled across him at the same time, just kind of doing research, and either he had mentioned to me or I had mentioned to him, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is a cool car." And then we started diving into it, like, "Wait, this is a really cool car. This is actually something you want to own." And it's because otherwise you just look at it and you go, I mean, it's like a cheap Acura. It's like an expensive Honda. Stupid. But when you start to dive in, you go seam welding. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah,
sold me. If you're already going that far in your engineering, that means there's a lot of other things that you've done well as well.
Well, it's just a great period of Japanese cars. I mean, that
truly is, yeah.
The 90s and early 2000s, they were just building awesome cars. And I have, like, if you want one of those Japanese cars now, I think you got to buy it now. If you want a nice one, if you want, like, if you have a dream car, if it's a Supra, an NSX.
So if that's the case,
FD,
do you think that the NSX in particular
mm-hmm.
is going to hit that Porsche bubble where all of a sudden it's going to go way up? It's going up now.
It's already,
I mean,
it's spiked. It spiked to like last year. They went from like 30 immediately to 50.
Are we going to see $150,000 to $200,000 NSX?
No, I don't think so. But it's hard to say because I don't think the demand is there, but I think it will increase. I don't think it's going to be like the weird part is I don't think it's going to be like Porsches, right? Like a clean Porsche, you want it like all original and maintenance, blah blah blah. I think with the Japanese cars, I think people are going to look at the mods and go, okay, it's just bolt-ons. I'm okay with this. I guess on 911s are like that to an extent.
They are. The one thing that I think will change is I mean, I'm sure your dad's kind of the same way. Maybe a lot less so than mine. But
yeah.
My dad and a lot of people of his generation look at anything Japanese and they go, "Oh, that's just a rice burner. That's a pointless car."
Yeah.
Okay. They are not going to increase the value.
No,
but they are the people that can afford that $50,000 NSX right now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when we are old enough and we grew up idolizing those cars,
yeah,
$50,000 sounds pretty damn good on an NSX.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to see them at the $150,000 mark by the time we were 50 years old.
Maybe. I mean, they are great cars. I mean, I'll tell you something that blew my mind. So I was looking at steering wheels for the S2000, right? And I'm looking at this Momo wheel, and I'm like, I want to get a Honda horn button, right? That makes sense. Like if you had a Porsche wheel, you'd want to get a Porsche horn button.
Mm-hmm.
So the horn button that you have to buy is an NSX horn button because they came OEM with like a racing wheel, essentially. You know how much it costs?
$135.
$230
for a button.
For a button.
Just buy a blank button and have Drake make you a sticker.
Right? I saw that. I thought it was wrong. I was like, because the first thing that came up was like eBay. I was like, maybe this guy's crazy. And then like I looked everywhere and
buy a plastic, like Honda H.
Yeah.
And just slap that on the center of the Momo.
Yeah. It blew my mind. $230 for a horn button.
If that's the case, why the hell is Momo not making that horn button?
That's what I thought. I was like, somebody make a Honda horn button for $100.
Yeah.
You'd sell the crap out of them.
None of you heard that. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. but no, I think it's people like us that are gonna drive the values up, and I mean we're starting to see it now.
You definitely see it with the Mark IV Supra. That's probably the most evident.
Yeah, the obvious cars are the Supras, and not even that. The weird thing is that some of the cars are still low, like the R32 GTRs.
I don't think they're ever gonna go up.
Really? I can't believe they're so cheap.
That's why I don't think they're ever going to go up, because if they were, they would have.
But why haven't they gone up?
I have no idea.
If you like think about like what look at collector cars. What makes a collector car? Oh, well, it's got to be iconic. It's got to racing history helps. Engineering first. It has to set benchmarks and all this stuff. All of that is R32 GTR, and yet they're not crazy expensive. They're like 25 grand. All of them. All of them are like 25 grand. That's bizarre.
You would think though, like, okay, so they just came in from import.
They're all JDM cars too.
Why have they not gone up?
Maybe people are scared of JDM cars.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, okay, there we go. Drake said, "Look at Facebook messaging." I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Facebook messaging. So he wants us to look here.
Oh.
Did you guys see the Mark IV Supra that sold on Bring a Trailer for $110,000?
I did see that.
Also, properly hot rodded 911s are bringing big money.
That's also true.
Yeah, they are. No, but I think like the Mark IV Supra is going to definitely be an example where it, in particular, ones that are done correctly, not stock ones, are going to bring more money. We're already seeing that now. Stock ones are not going to bring big money. I just don't see it.
I mean, that Supra did.
Was that a stock one?
It was a bone stock 7,000 mile car.
Okay, then I stand corrected, because I mean I would just, based off of the market that I've seen.
Yeah.
Normally, it's the cars that have been modded, your 1,000 horsepower ones. Those are what you're going to end up seeing sell for high numbers.
I'll say this: I think the reason modifications aren't going to harm these cars as much is because they were modified so heavily, in their time period. Like if you look at classic muscle cars, right, and you look at a resto mod or just some kind of think of any hot rod. Yeah. They're all modified.
Yeah, they are.
The stock ones bring the big money, but a modified car still brings more. Like you could buy an old Camaro, modify it, and probably break even depending on what parts you put on it. LS swap it, put good suspension on it, good brakes, and you could sell it for good money.
You do have to put 20s on it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But
chrome 20s.
Yeah.
You need a lot of chrome on everywhere on that car.
Yeah, but I think it'll be the same thing with these cars. Like I think if you see an S2000, an NSX, any like Honda sports car that's tuned for like a track-oriented car.
Those I disagree with.
Really?
I don't think those in particular are going to pull big money by being modded.
No, not big money, but like more than you would expect. Like I don't think it's going to hurt the value the same way. Like when let's say when you see a Porsche 911 and it's like a track car, right? Does that make you want it more or less?
Like you mean like an actual trap? Like if I see a cup car,
yeah.
Do I want a 911 more than if I saw?
No. Let's say you're at Mecum, and you see a Cayman S that's bone stock, and you see a Cayman S that's got good coilovers, wheels, exhaust, track upgrades, nice racing seats, blah blah blah, right? For the same money.
Oh, I want the upgraded one,
right?
Well, yeah, I'm effectively saving money. It's probably as long as they're done tastefully, and that's the key.
Yeah,
because if they're not done tastefully, then it's beside the point, essentially.
Yeah. What do we got? What do we got?
On the topic of money. All right, so this is someone I don't know. Maybe this is. Oh, it says it's Carter's girlfriend. Hi, Carter's girlfriend. On the topic of money, are y'all going to watch Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale? I don't normally watch any of the auctions.
They're fun to watch. I mean, there's a lot of cars that they sell though.
So I disagree.
I think they're fun to watch.
No, they're really fun to have in the background.
Yes.
No one actually sits down and goes, oh, this one's it might go for 100.
Yeah.
Oh, it went for 93.
No.
No one does that. I mean, people do that, I'm sure. The fact that they're televised in the first place baffles me. That's like why bowling is on ESPN.
Yeah.
But no, I likely won't watch it. I'm sorry to disappoint you in any way, shape, or form.
Auctions are fun to have in the background, though. You're right. When we were in Monterey, we were at the hotel bar.
Yeah.
And they had the auction on the TVs there.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was just kind of hanging out. And then we turn around and funny story. There was a GTO that sold, and we're looking at everybody was like, "Wow, that's a nice GTO." Everybody agreed it was a nice GTO, and I think it didn't sell at like 20 something. The next car was some like panel wagon piece of crap, right? and it sold for 30 grand. And everybody's like, what the hell? Like-
It doesn't ever make sense. Auctions don't make any sense at all.
Yeah. But it is fun to have in the background, I think, because you see so many weird cars and you're always curious what it's going to go for. But it's also disappointing when you see a car that you like and it goes for big money.
Yeah, it hurts. Also, Drake is asking what watch that is. Is it? It's blurry.
It's not going to focus. It's the perpetual calendar. It's just a little quartz.
Okay. Who's it by for those?
It's a Seiko.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the code.
I don't care.
I think it's the only perpetual calendar that they have
Okay.
right now.
There you go, Drake.
Should get one.
Same reason I keep bringing a trailer on at work. Does Bring a Trailer do live auctions, Drake? Like, obviously, I know it's an auction site, but does it like stream the auction, or do you just have a
No,
random car?
You can get notifications. Like you can follow it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And you can see results, which is fun.
Fair enough. But yeah, no. As far as auctions go, I would like to go to one at some point. I know Jill's family's been to a couple of them.
You've never been to Mecum?
No, never been to any of them.
Dude, you should go to
Because
that's coming up.
They're effectively a giant car show.
Yeah,
So it's cool in that sense.
it's a giant car show, but you get to figure out the values of everything, which is fun.
Yeah, exactly. We should do that together, and then have some. We'll come up with some ridiculous bet with like you, Drake, and I
Mhm.
that doesn't make any sense at all. Like something embarrassing. Like we could totally get. Well, we can't really. I was gonna say we could break out. What's our frog's name that I've currently still?
Oh, Roger?
Roger.
Roger.
Actually, I think I have Roger.
Do you have Roger?
I think Roger.
People can finally meet Roger.
Roger is a disaster.
Hey, you had to display that somewhere.
I do. It'll be displayed right
Okay.
there. Now that we have a live stream.
That was the bet.
Roger.
Look at that. He's even labeled.
Yes, he is. Oh, he's dusty. he's been in my he was displayed at the old house.
Yeah.
He has since been put into storage in this new house.
Ah,
So
that's Roger.
backwards on the last one. But yeah, that's Roger. That is some
Yeah.
jacked up looking frog thing. We'll put Roger right there.
He looks proud.
He does look proud. So Roger, those of you that don't know, Roger. So we went endurance karting, and we've done a lot of karting, and every time we go karting, we usually have some sort of bet. Drake is always the fastest because Drake. But this is more of a trophy between who's slower between David and I. I currently possess Roger because I ran a slower qualifying time than David.
Yes.
David, on the other hand, was not close during the race, but that doesn't matter. So I got stuck with Roger.
I don't know. Is that true?
Yeah, it was.
What was
'Cause
your
I had-
fastest lap of the
I
race?
don't remember what it was, but I had the fastest lap until Drake went and set like 5 of them in that ridiculously
really?
fast cart. Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when he set the essentially the damn
Yeah,
lap record?
Didn't we have the same cart in qualifying?
You and I? No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think so. I don't remember.
No, we didn't all have the same cart in qualifying.
No. I don't know. I don't remember. That was like a year ago. We need to
I
do
don't
that
remember.
again, though.
Yeah.
We need to go karting again soon.
It just left such a bad taste in our mouths because it rained and they canceled it.
The rain was amazing, though.
The rain was great, but then when they shut it down because they didn't have any carts left because they were all breaking down.
Drake says this week. Oh, the last weekend in Orlando is this weekend for Mecum. What? Apparently,
What?
the last weekend in Orlando is this weekend for Mecum.
I can't decipher that.
I can't either. Drake, how much have you been drinking? But anyway, yeah, so we'll definitely have to go to some car show like that. We'll come up with some bet. We can't use Roger because Roger's the
He's
slowest
sacred.
qualifying time or
Yes.
slowest time.
I feel
guess
like we
should
have
say.
to use it for a race, though. I feel like if we just go karting, that's not enough. It needs to be a big.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, for your bachelor party,
Yeah.
we should rent out a go-kart track
That's
for the
plan.
entire day.
That's the plan.
And
yes.
then we'll be tired after 2 hours and not use the rest of the day.
That's the plan. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
That's the plan. Yeah. Yep. That's yes. There's a lot of yes in that. I would like to do that. So we'll be doing that eventually, and we'll bring the Sony GoPro thing. We'll slap that on one of the carts. I'll put it on your helmet, but I'll face it backwards,
Okay.
and all it'll see is nothing because you'll be in last.
Oh, wow. Wow. Shit talking.
I got to start at some point. I mean,
I will say it is completely dependent on the cart.
it is immensely dependent on the cart. Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I'm kind of surprised. We're actually kind of close to each other
Mhm.
when we go karting. It's not like a
And
big.
a lot faster than a lot of people. There's
Yeah.
a ton of slow people that have no idea what the racing line is.
Yeah, that is true. But I feel like it's inevitable when you go karting though that you get a bad kart because they all suck.
Yeah.
But the one you're in is the worst one.
No, see, it depends because the one with really bad tires is fast.
That's true.
But then you get the ones with great tires that are
Bad
dog
brakes.
slow or bad brakes. Yes.
Because I was in a kart. I don't remember if it was the last time we went, but the worst is when you get one that's like speed limited. It's
Mhm.
running into like a governor or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about karts. I don't know what's slowing it down. But you're going down the straight and it's going down, 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 down. You're just like, what the? And there's nothing you can do.
Right.
Like at least when you have bad brakes, you can. It's not. I don't think it's as big a deal in a kart because you're not really doing that much braking, you know. And if anything, it helps you not lock up and
Right.
do a 180.
See, the biggest difference I would say between you and I in karting,
Yeah.
is not necessarily the speed,
Mhm.
but the desire for preservation of your own life.
Mm-hmm.
You
I have
seem
too
to-
much of that.
You seem to obtain far more than I do.
I do. Joe, an example of this is the corner.
I've hit a wall.
You have hit a wall. I've hit a wall too. I hit a wall.
Drake's
bad.
bachelor party. That was Drake's.
Yeah, it was like his bachelor party. Yeah, and we talked about what happened there, right? I had a
I
good
think so.
excuse.
I don't remember what the excuse is. I'm interested again.
I remember it vividly. I was chasing Drake's dad, and it was great because I was chasing him down, and I was going to try to go for a pass, right?
Who is very fast.
Yeah, and I was feeling good about myself. He probably wasn't going that fast, but I felt great. And it's like there was like an S turn, and then it went into the hairpin, and you're coming in there pretty quick, so a lot of speed you're carrying.
Yeah.
And I go through the right, and then I go through the left, and then it goes back right into the hairpin. And when I go for the brake, my foot slipped off the brake and like flung up in the air like this. At which point I had realized I was already gonna hit the wall. And so I just backed it in and I moved the wall like
a long ways.
Yeah.
A long ways. They didn't pull you from the track though, if I remember correctly.
No,
Yeah.
but he was like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "My foot slipped off the brake." It really did. And yeah, that's my excuse.
Yeah. So
It kind of hurt actually.
really?
Yeah, because the seat, the wall didn't
yeah.
hurt. The seat is what hurt me.
No, when I hit the wall, because I hit the wall at Anderson.
Which
and
wall?
The one immediately following. So when you're going counterclockwise,
Okay.
so your first one is a
The
left-hander.
The flat. Okay, yeah.
The main
Yeah,
straight,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went in too late. I broke
remember
really,
this
really,
one.
really late, and I hit the wall, and then
Did
they
you
all
back-
came.
Did you back it in or did you hit
No,
it?
I hit it sideways.
Okay.
And then they like 3 or 4 crew members came running after me to check and make sure because they thought something was bad because that was
Yeah.
main straight into the wall,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
And I go, no, I'm good, and drove off. It was just I was pushing it. I'm like, I gotta get faster,
Yeah.
gotta get faster. And that right there is the perfect description of preservation of life between you and
Yeah.
I.
Well, yeah, where I was going with that is
Yeah.
when you're going clockwise at Anderson, the first turn you can take flat.
Yeah, you can. That's
Yeah.
a great corner because you
Yeah.
can barely take it flat in
And
those carts.
I was going to say the perfect example is when I go through there, I probably go through about 3 times not flat before I start going flat. And I'm sure the first time you went through there, you just went flat.
Yes.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, and when we did the enduro, on the back part of the
left.
track, the very back left corner of the
Yeah.
track from where we were standing at our pits.
Yeah.
You guys do remember seeing clouds of dust every single lap. From
Yes.
it. Yeah. Because I was pushing, trying to make sure I could get as much, like I just wanted to go as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And I would quite often drop 2 wheels out there and end up on the dirt. I never spun it. It would fish a little bit out of there, but never spun it. I've never spun.
I remember going, I went on the dirt a little bit there.
The
But-
rain was immensely fun though.
It was and wasn't.
Well, it
Once
was,
you
it
were
was
wet-
for me because it was dry and then started pouring while
Yeah.
I was out there. So
But
I
you
got to
had the
experience
good
all of
cart.
it. Not at the time, no, not particularly.
I think you did though, because Drake's dad went in after you, and when he came in, I remember he said to me, he's like, "You have to use the throttle to steer this cart," and I was like, "Okay, that must be."
You guys got screwed.
Was
with
we- so
the
we had a
same cart
different
twice in
cart?
a row. Yeah,
Okay, that's what, because they ran out of carts, and
yeah,
That cart-
because too many people kept crashing the damn
it
things.
was so bad.
Yeah.
The thing wouldn't turn, And I'd go into the corner slow and like floor it, and it would just push.
It was amazing though. Like, so those of you that haven't driven, I'm going to use this term, but I use it loosely. Those of you that haven't raced in the rain, because we were racing. I mean, it's not immense race intense or anything like that, but it was effectively racing. Those of you that have not raced in the rain, and you hear, oh yeah, the line changes and stuff like that. No, the line really, really changes. All of a sudden, there is a puddle on the inside corner, and you're like, dude, if I go through that, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
And the carts in particular, because all of a sudden you're either hydroplaning or you've just nosedived and you've lost all speed.
Yeah. It was actually surprisingly easy to drive in the rain. I thought because we were on slicks that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But they had a lot more grip than I thought they would. The only turn that I was hesitant for was that flat kink, because I am
right before you get onto the main straight.
Yeah.
So you've got like the kink and then the left-hander hairpin, because that one was the one that always caught me off.
It was the one after the banked one.
Oh,
or both of them. Even the banked one a little bit. I got loose there a few times.
Yeah.
But in the rain,
it's because of all the dirt that I took.
Yeah. But I remember in the rain, I was like, okay, I have never driven a kart in the rain before with slicks. Yeah. I have no idea what's going to happen going through this corner. And then it took until the first time the cart actually slid out, then I learned where the limit was.
Right.
But before that, I was like, this much.
Because it was, like I said, it was dry, and then it started pouring while I was out there. So the track was dry, and then the track was soaked while I was out there. And the moment it started pouring, I thought, like in my head, I was like, this is when I can take advantage of the field, because everybody else is going to be scared to death to do things. So if I'm going to be fast, let's be fast now.
Yeah.
And that's like, at that point, it was like, screw it. I don't care. And that, I think that was probably the best thing for driving in the rain, because I wasn't tentative. I wasn't like, where is the limit? Where's the limit? I was like, we'll find out. We'll figure out where it is.
Yeah, I remember you came in and you were like, that was the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, I legitimately, I had a smile on my face for at least 10 straight minutes following it. I couldn't wipe it off. It was immensely fun. Immensely fun.
Yeah.
Should we dive into a list?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to move my mic. So those of you that are viewing us on the live stream, I'm disappearing out of the picture slightly. And now my cords are all messed up. So we've got a list coming up. David, I'm going to actually move it over to the other side here. I'll swap these two. Hopefully this doesn't kill the live stream. I don't think it will. It's just a tab moving. All right. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So here we go. 22 most fun used cars you can buy for under $5,000. This one by Road and Track. Brian Silvestro will be the author of this article. Number one on the list. I guess you can. The Nissan 240SX. Thanks to its popularity as a drift car, it's getting harder and harder to locate a nice 240SX for less than $5,000. They are still out there, though. You just have to put a bit more effort into finding them. Here's one with a few issues listed for just $2,500.
A few issues.
Yeah, I question that kind
for
of
$2,500.
That kind of writing.
Haven't the values of those gone up quite a bit?
S2000s? Yeah, they have.
No.
Or I'm sorry, 240SXs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the pig nose is still pretty cheap. Everybody wants the hatch.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is interesting. I've never driven one. They are shockingly small. I sat in one, and it was probably smaller than the Miata, in all honesty. But
it's incredibly ugly.
It's not brilliant. The Pontiac Solstice, number 2 on the list. Believe it or not, the Pontiac Solstice is now 13 years old. Early models have begun to depreciate under the $5,000 mark, which is good news for Roadster fans. They're not especially common at that price, but I was able to find this one on Craigslist with a little effort. Okay. The Mustang. This is the S95, SN95 generation.
What was the title of this?
22 most fun used cars you can buy for under $5,000.
Most fun.
I'm not sure about the Solstice. I'm okay with the 240.
You okay with the Mustang?
I think I'm okay with the Mustang.
This is like the worst Mustang.
Still a V8. I mean, it's still a like.
Wouldn't you rather a Fox body?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. If you want a nice running V8 powered Mustang for less than $5,000, you don't have very many cars to choose from. You could probably go the Fox body route or buy something like this, a reasonable priced SN95 Mustang GT. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's still a decently fun car. It'll do burnouts. It's going to do burnouts.
Burnouts and makes a good noise.
Yeah, you got that going for you. All right.
No, false.
Uh,
You can't get these under $5,000.
well, even if you can, they're not running. The Nissan 300ZX. Looking for a nicely styled, reliable, sporty GT car, the Nissan 300ZX can check all of those boxes for you. It might be difficult to find a turbocharged model for under $5,000, but naturally aspirated cars like this one can be sourced under budget all day long. Maybe that's the case in California. I haven't looked at the prices in a while. Maybe they dropped, but
I thought they were expensive.
I know the turbos always were. This car I think will go down in the same category as the 850.
The BMW?
Yeah,
Like a weird, quirky
yeah,
classic?
quirky, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, random T-top stuff like that. Like it's just if I say David, pick a Japanese car that best reflects the ideology of the 850, you're going to be hard pressed to find something like different than this.
I think that's a good comparison, actually.
My
care.
least favorite vehicle on the face of the earth, Jeep Wrangler by Willys. If you're looking for a different sort of fun, why not consider the Wrangler? Newer ones will take years to depreciate under $5,000, but examples like this 1999 TJ model can be reliably found for a good price, also known as a girl truck. I added that. The Honda Beat. I mean, really? That's what we're going to go with that?
I say skip it. You can't buy these.
The Honda Beat, though you couldn't originally buy them in the United States, imported Honda Beats can still be found for under the $5,000 mark. For that, you can get a high-revving mid-mounted 3-cylinder engine and a convertible top. Sounds like a deal to us. How high-revving is it? I mean, it's decently looking, but dude, full-blown girl car. Like I'm
it's
sorry,
a key car.
Yeah, I know, but there's no redeeming features about it until you do a ton.
We've made this point on the podcast before. If you want a key car, you get an AutoZam AZ1.
That's the one with the gull wing doors, right?
That's it. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, okay. BMW 3 Series, the E30. This one in particular, let's see if they talk about it. Though the prices are on the rise, it's still easy to find a good E30 Generation 3 Series for under $5,000. That kind of money can get you a ratty 325 IS or a 4-cylinder 318i in good condition. Just be on the watch for rust. However, here's a nice convertible model on eBay for $4,750. Yes, stay away from 328. Wasn't it the 328 that Drake had that was just dog slow that revved to like 40-something, 100 RPM? Drake, which one was the one that you had that was running?
I thought his was a 325e.
I don't remember. Yeah, 325e. That's what he said. So stay away from that one because that engine is awful.
Yeah,
awful.
Car drove okay though.
The 944 is a slow car. The naturally aspirated car.
Yeah,
that's a slow car. That 325e was substantially slower.
It wasn't that much slower, was it? I don't remember.
It had torque and then nothing. Like it torqued you all the way up to like 4,500 RPMs, and then you were screwed.
I thought you guys had good races.
I don't think we race that often. I just remember it being very slow. Okay, just making sure that's not Drake Texas. Okay, good, it's not. The Honda CRX SI. This is an interesting one. I've never been a fan of the CRX. Not the way that a lot of people are.
I feel nothing toward it. I think it's it's a cool Honda, but I don't really care.
But why
the thing is, they're super light.
But so are Del Sols.
Yeah.
I mean, this is slightly more practical than a Del Sol.
It's like a hardtop Del Sol.
Way uglier.
Yeah, it's a hardtop Del Sol.
So, well, I mean, the Del Sol was kind of a hardtop. It's Targa.
Yeah.
But while your chance to pick up an Integra Type R for cheap have long since passed, there are still other fun, small front-wheel drive Hondas out there for a little money. The lightweight two-seater CRX SI is a perfect example. Okay. Mazda MX-5 Miata. We expect to see this at some point. When talking about cheap fun cars, it's hard not to mention the Miata. First and second generation MX-5s can be easily found for under $5,000, and for that price, you're getting one of the best, most smile-inducing driving experiences on the earth. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is pretty much the best car they've listed so far.
Yep.
Okay, BMW 3 Series as in the E36. The E30 is a bit too old for your taste. Consider its successor, the E36. Pretty much any non-M3 version can be found under budget. Whether you want a strong inline six or a frugal four-banger, this 94 sedan has a manual transmission and you can own it.
You're really lowering your standards, I
think.
But
when you're listing 22 cars.
I guess that's true.
Subaru WRX. If you need a cheap performance car that can plow through any terrain, the Bug-Eye WRX is a car for the job. With a turbocharged Boxer 4, it shouldn't have any trouble muscling through the toughest of blizzards.
I agree, actually. I think that is a fun car.
I would say this is the best or second best car on this list.
Yeah.
If you can get it for under $5,000, I didn't know you can get them for that cheap. I still want, like, you guys want the, like a DC2, and I love DC2s.
Yeah.
I
really like the DC5 too.
Yeah. One of the quirky cars that I've always wanted is the I'm now blanking on the name. I just
Is it
had
a Subaru?
Yeah, it's the Subaru.
22. Oh God. Oh.
I had it on the tip of my tongue. I was about to say, Drake.
All
What is
that
a
comes-
22B?
All that comes to mind is a 22B.
Yeah, what's it? I can't.
G something.
GC8. That's it. Thank you. See, Drake is so useful on
This
the
is
chat.
nice.
So useful in the chat. I mean, he would have been more useful sitting right here because he would have corrected me the first time. We wouldn't have struggled. But that's one thing I would like to do a build on. The only problem is you kind of have to do the STI swap, from what I understand. Drake would obviously know way more than I do, but that engine is not great in the stock car.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
It's better than the Mustang.
It's probably the third best car on this list. The Chevrolet Corvette C4, because many people think the C4 is the worst Corvette. There are many deals to be had on them. Sure, you won't find late production 6-speeds for under $5,000, but early cars can be had within a budget fairly easily. All this one needs is a new battery to get on the road. Who is selling a car with an old battery? Seriously.
Just replace the battery.
Yeah. And dude, it's not. C5s are not far off.
Yeah.
Like high mile C5s are getting
it's a
really
lot more
close.
car.
It's a lot more car, yeah. Oh, God, what did I do? I zoomed in on the picture that I didn't need. Hey, best car on this list. Porsche 944. If brand image is what you're after, there's no better cheap car than the Porsche 944. Though it may not be rear engine, it still drives like a Porsche. It has the same wonderful build quality. This one has low miles and is for sale on eBay now.
I thought they were going up, though.
Not the NA cars. Not really. What are your thoughts on this? You own a Miata. You've driven 944s more than anything you can imagine. As far as a fun, cheap car, under $5,000, what would you rather have in your garage?
Depends what you're after, which is a lame answer.
I'm talking to you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'd rather have the 944. Well, or an NA Miata?
Yeah. As opposed to what kind of Miata? I wasn't talking about an MSM. Those aren't.
Yeah, I'd have the 944.
Okay. I'm just curious because obviously I'd have the 944. I'm very biased in this, but
the
considering there's two on the damn walls.
Yeah. No, the 944 I think is more fun to own. The Miata might be more fun to drive depending on what you like, because it's lighter.
Okay.
But I think the 944 is more fun to own.
Drake, you want to respond? 8th Gen SI. Well, if that's on the list, yes, but that wasn't an option that we were talking about. Toyota MR2, SW20 in particular. Whether you're looking for a first, second, or third gen MR2 to add to your garage, you won't have much trouble finding one under the budget. We think this is a sweet spot. We think the sweet spot is a second gen SW20 model shown here. They are really cool, and you guys were talking about it. Okay, Drake says 944 as well. You guys were talking about it on the chat, I believe, if I remember correctly, the group chat. That the SW20 you could see going up soon. I don't think
turbo cars probably.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see them get over, or the NA ones get over 10. Ever.
Although the NA cars would make a pretty good beam swap.
I know. So every time I get that beams desire, like that, I get that beams in my heart. I need some beams. I start thinking, and this is all because of Drake. Drake turned me on to the beams engine. I always go back and forth.
5 valves per cylinder engine, right? Revs to whatever you want it to rev.
Yeah, it revs to the moon. I don't know how many valves per cylinder it has. I haven't done that much research on it. I just know I want it because I've heard it and seen it and all that fun stuff. It's either going in that or an 8.6. It's what I always come down to.
I can see you in an 8.6.
I would love an 8.6. But and I would never put a Haichi Roku on anywhere on it like that. God damn it, that's annoying.
An SW20 would be really cool. I think they're really good looking.
The SW20 would be fun to have in the garage next to the Cayman.
Yes, they're like the badass version of a Del Sol.
Yeah, they're what the Del Sol should have been.
Yeah.
The problem is if the Del Sol was that, no one would have bought anything from Honda ever for the remainder of Honda.
Why?
Well, like if you had the Del Sol with that SI engine. So 160 horsepower, 160 pounds-feet of torque.
Yeah.
Like 2,200 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
And mid-engine.
Yeah.
Rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Why would you buy an S2000 when it came out?
Because it's more powerful.
Yeah, but...
No, I I don't know.
I mean, it did. That's just
They
seems
didn't
like
do
a
it.
damn good time. No, they didn't. People do swap them in the rear though, because there is a firewall behind the seat, so you don't need to do a whole lot of construction back there. They'll just dump it in the trunk. They'll get some conversion, and you'll see rear wheel drive swap Del Sols.
That is so bizarre.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah, it is.
It goes back to like my idea of wanting to do a flat six rear engine 944. That's my money no option build, because I want to have it in the glass, like you have the glass looking down on the engine. Talk about show car.
I don't think you have enough space.
I would make it work.
No, I'm talking like the engine would stick out past the rear bumper.
I would make it work.
Okay.
Because I'm completely useless like that.
Okay.
It's my dream, David. Don't crush my dream.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, the Suzuki Cappuccino, or no?
No.
Is that Cappuccino?
I think it is.
I don't think I've ever seen Cappuccino spelled like that. I don't know. The rear-wheel drive Cappuccino K car was never officially sold in the U.S., but thanks to our 25-year import law, they can now be brought to the country. There aren't too many found under 5,000, but there are some. Again, stretch. Number 16, the Chevrolet Camaro Z28, fourth generation, also known as a Catfish. It's a Corvette isn't really your thing. You might look at the Camaro Z28. It has a totally different look, but packs a Corvette-sourced LT1 V8 under the hood, and it's really ugly, like really, really ugly.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, there you go. The Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS. Unlike the WRX, the 2.5 RS does not come with a turbocharged engine. What it does have, however, are much cooler looks, a lighter curb weight, and a rear locking differential. Porsche Boxster 986. I would agree with that. That's a good one on this list. You can get them for under 5 pretty easily, or right around 5.
That scares me.
It is sketchy, yeah, especially considering they had IMS bearing issues. Though it may be tough to find a first-gen Boxster under $5,000, they're out there. Thanks to the mid-engine layout and the flat six engine, it is one of the most capable cars on this list. The only thing you'll have to deal with are the questionable looks. I would say if you have $5,000 and you can get not a perfect, but a clean version of every car on this list, this is the best option. Because you still have modern-ish technology.
I'd rather
it's
have
a
a
comfortable
944.
place. Yeah, but it's not even remotely modern.
Yeah, but it's better than that.
I mean, I'd rather have a 944, but I think this is the best car on the list.
I can't say it.
Okay. I did not expect to see this. The Chrysler Conquest TSI, also known as the Mitsubishi Starion. The Conquest TSI. I don't think I've ever seen one of these for sale in general.
I've never seen one before.
Well, you've seen a Starion.
I've never seen one.
They were in Forza.
No, but I've never seen one in person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were just talking about like in general.
No.
You have no idea
I know
what
it
the
is.
car is. Okay.
Yeah.
The Conquest TSI, also known as the Starion, packs a turbocharged engine under the hood, and like its similarly styled 944, puts power to the rear wheels. They are a little tough to find for sale, but when they do pop up, prices hover around $5,000 for the most part. Could you see? I could see Drake in one of those.
I can see Drake in a lot of weird cars.
Yeah. This being one of them.
Yes. That in the what's the one he likes? The VR4 3000 GT, the Mitsubishi.
Oh yeah, yep. That
really hideous car.
Yep. What about the Mercure?
Yep.
Drake's gonna have the most eclectic, like weird garage on the face of the earth.
It's just weird.
The Mercedes-Benz SLK 230. Believe it or not, the first-gen SLK has depreciated under the $5,000 mark. They can be easily found for under budget on Craigslist, though finding one with a manual transmission might be a bit tougher.
That or the key car.
That.
Really?
It's a nicer place to be in.
Look at it.
Yeah, because looking at that and then looking at the stupid-ass fucking key cars are going to, like...
That's worse.
Is it key or K, by the way?
I think it's key.
Oh, I always thought it was K.
Or no, maybe it is K.
I thought it was K cars.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Either way, but they're both ugly, so I might as well be in the one that's more comfortable. That's my theory for picking that.
I'd rather be uncomfortable. And
why? The K cars don't look good.
That's worse. That is one of the worst cars of all time, in my opinion, in terms of looks.
I think if you lowered it, got wheels that fit, it would look all right. I think you could make it look good.
Oof. Makes me shiver. It's bad. It's so bad.
It's not great. The problem with it though, in reality of being on this list. I mean, I know it's not cars you should buy. It's 22 most fun used cars you could buy for under $5,000. They are notorious for electrical problems at that era. Like Mercedes was horrible with their electronics.
Yeah, probably not a good investment.
Number 21 on this list, the Honda Civic Si EP3. I think I've said this on the podcast before. This was almost my first car. People seem to forget about the Civic Si hatch of the early 2000s, and we can't see a reason why. Prices are cheap, and for the money, you get fun manual hot hatch with Honda reliability and a massive aftermarket support. This one has under 100,000 miles and can be yours. They are kind of cool cars, but they are very minivan. They're like mini minivans.
Yeah. I'd rather have an RSX.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, and last on the list, the Mazda RX-7 FB or FC. You won't find the gorgeous third generation twin turbo RX-7 for under $5,000. You'd struggle to find one under $10,000. But you can get naturally aspirated versions of the first two generations for under $5,000. Its rotary engine can be tricky to maintain, but it is cool. So you might not care. Here's the first generation one with around 85,000 miles for just $4,900.
They're cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the FC is. I'm not a fan of the FB. I know the FB is kind of quirky, and you have that shift horn and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of things to like about it.
I don't like it because
I just don't think it's very good looking.
It's got crappy suspension.
What does it have?
It's a live axle, I'm pretty sure.
Oh God. Well, I thought the FC was also live axle. I don't know. I thought I remembered something like that, but I'm likely wrong.
I think so.
Drake says, fun fact, the only SI to not share the chassis with the base car is the EP3. Oh, interesting. There's a lot of fun facts about the EP3. It's a weird, quirky car. But anyway, yeah, that'll do it for our list as far as we're concerned. I think that's going to do it for the episode pretty much. What time are we at? Yeah, we're at an hour 10. Made an hour 10.
Okay.
And considering I have to be work in like now, we'll sign off. So go follow us on all of our social media. This is weird. I'm going to look at the camera and do this. But go follow us on all of our social media. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit this like button. I can't believe I'm saying those words. I never thought I would. We are Drivers Only USA here. We're Drivers Only USA on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We don't post on Facebook or Twitter all that often. Instagram is definitely the place to go follow us because we like that app because it's just better.
Yeah.
Outside of that, David, you can end us on a single word. Thank you all for watching.
Key.
And there goes our podcast. You guys are still on for a second. You're going to see us close this up. And I'm going to come on. And bye.